The external events in your life really trigger the karma that you carry inside, and they become your reactions. And your reactions determine how you experience your life. So in a way, you could have the same thing happening to one person, creating a certain response, and the same event happening to another person, creating a totally different response. I can have, for example, when I had just written my first book, the publisher said, why don't you sign some books for some famous people? They might give you an endorsement. So I did, and they were sent out, and almost nobody replied. And I didn't realize at the time that those famous people, how many books and manuscripts they get sent every week and every month. Now I'm getting them. And now I'm the one who doesn't reply, because you just can't. It's impossible to read it all, even dipping in. They pile up. There's a backlog. I have now already several months of backlog to get through. So it's very hard, if not impossible. But I didn't know that. But fortunately, I didn't take it personally. Without having read the 4 agreements, I already knew this is not a personal thing. So it was not problematic. But I've had some instances where people have sent me books and they got extremely upset because they didn't get a reply. And they get more and more upset, and the letters became more and more angry. And then I became the worst, dreadful person in the world. And those are old karmic patterns that people carry. The external event triggers the pattern. For some people, what becomes a huge drama for one person is an insignificant event for another. So how you experience your life is not really so much to do with what happens to you, but it's how you react, because every reaction determines the next thing that happens. So something goes wrong, you make drama out of it, and that creates more stuff. And this is how more karma gets created. How you react to a person determines how that person reacts to you. And so it's a reflection, in other words. You create, to a large extent, your life, not to a large extent, completely, your life experience unconsciously. And so to break the old patterns that create so much suffering, unnecessary baggage, I sometimes call it, that you carry around with you, you interpret situations and people through the unnecessary baggage in your mind. For that to be transcended or dissolved, that requires presence power. The presence needs to be there when the old patterns arise in your life. And that is there so you don't wait for the challenge and hoping that you can stay present, because you won't. Use it when you're not being challenged and invite presence into your life. In all those moments that are really precious, and that generates more than you. It's almost like the equivalent on the physical level would be working out. You get stronger, so to speak. And so sometimes it's only a disaster that makes a person conscious. It has a potential of making a person conscious. The potential is not always fulfilled. Often a disaster can make you even more unconscious. and more unhappy. But potentially, any disaster, any great loss in your life can be the awakener. The awakener. And then you see, for example, many people, when they fall seriously ill, they realize all the things they've been worried about and upset about are quite insignificant. And suddenly they realize, what was all that about? All that drama they have had for the past 10, 15, 20 years in my life? Nothing. It was just generated out of nothingness. Full. What is the Shakespearean a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. That is what many people's lives, unfortunately, boils down to. Full of sound and fury. And then they die. It was so important. It mattered so much. And then there's the gravestone. And it's almost a relief that they died, because all the stuff finally comes to an end. But does it? Maybe they continue in another dimension. More drama in the astral realm. So that is this, as I sometimes call it, the sword of presence needs to be there. And you practice in ordinary situations. And it's wonderful, because already there the benefit is, it's not a preparation for when you're getting challenged. That also, but the benefit is already there in the moment, because the way in which you experienced even the ordinary moments, which before were so boring and routine, and not another, I have to go shopping again, and my laundry, do that again, and again. Even that is actually quite, when you really bring presence to it, every movement has a certain quality to it. You pick something up, put it in the washing machine. And suddenly no thinking, just a presence. And you listen to the noise, whatever noises are associated with that particular movement, and it's a pleasant experience. You could call it a meditation. And then you might lose yourself in the mind, and then you come back. So the alertness is there more and more. And that means the person subsides, the presence arises. So it's like the person is the seed that begins to dissolve slowly. It's still there. As long as you have a body, you're still a person. But it becomes transparent. So the seed, if you want to continue with that analogy, something comes through where the person was. Something shines through the person. And that means your identity, and this is a wonderful thing, your sense of who you are is not derived from that particular person that you are in space and time. Your personal history is no longer gives you your sense of who you are. But your sense of who you are is the presence that you sense right now, that you are right now. That is who you are. Yes, you still have your personal history. It's fine. And don't forget it. You remember exactly what happened. But you don't go there unnecessarily trying in your past and continuously revisit, especially the unpleasant things or even the pleasant. Trying to revisit this pleasant time 5 years ago. That was so nice. And you miss this moment. Or you revisit painful things in the past. And you derive your identity from something that happened, you did in the past. Something happened to you, you achieved something. 10 years ago, I achieved something. Who cares?